Hello, Harvester. My name is Sundagar Jacobs Jr., and this is my wife.
Hi, Harvesters. My name is Charlene Clark Jacobs. I've been part of the Harvest community since 2008. Sunny and I met actually at my cousin's birthday party in 2015.
I went through a very bad divorce that was very challenging, not just for me, but for just my whole family. And at that time, I just needed to take some break and just work on myself and take care of my daughter, Yoni Jacobs.
We got married 2 years later, April 2017. The journey to finding Sunny was a challenging one. I got married at 39. By the time I met him, I wasn't sure if it was even going to happen for me. So since we found each other later in life, we knew right away that we wanted to have kids. Sunny definitely wanted to have more children, and I did not have any children. I was very excited about the possibility of having children. I was always nervous about it though because of my age and what several doctors had told me. So a year after we were married, I became pregnant and we were so excited. We went to the doctor's office for the first ultrasound, which I believe was at 8 weeks. Unfortunately, the ultrasound showed that there was a gestational sac, but there was no baby. I felt so sad about just so quickly being excited, and then the next minute there was no baby. They said, oh, maybe because of your age. I had fibroid surgery December 2009. So they were like, well, maybe because of that and your age. So actually, about 6 months later, I got pregnant again. And we were so excited this time. We're very nervous. We did all the testing for the baby. The baby was healthy, was normal. It was a boy, and the boy's nickname was Baby Sunny. But then I started having some pains that same night. And I remember I called the doctor. Is it because of the ultrasound that she was poking so much? The doctor was like, no, it's probably your fibroids acting up. So then Sunday night, it got really bad. And I called the doctor again, and they said, okay, come in Monday morning for us to check everything. I decided to get on the prayer line to actually thank everyone for praying for me that I was having a baby. Ironically, after I got off the prayer line, the pain was so bad. We rushed to the doctor's office. And the doctor checked everything again, and he said, I think it's just your fibroids acting up. I think everything is fine. And then my water broke. And so he called 911 right away, and I went to the hospital. The nurses prepared me, and then they left the room. And as soon as they left the room, the baby came out. They said, oh no, we're so sorry. There's nothing we can do. But the baby heartbeat was still there. So we were holding the baby, and I said, is there anything that you can do? They said, no, he's too little. There's nothing we can do. We just held the baby in our hand for 3 hours.
Yeah,
until he passed. And that was it. That was February 11, 2019, when we lost that baby. During that time, I was heavily relying on the prayer line. Heavily relying on the prayer line. That was the only thing that kept me going. And I turned 42 in March. And by that time, I was just so sad. Like, I don't know if this is going to happen for me. So sad. And I remember I called Sis Norma, Pastor John's wife. And she really encouraged me. She said, you know, the Bible said that the Lord will make a childless woman a happy mother. Shockingly, the next month I got pregnant. We found out pretty early it was a girl. So I was so excited about that also. At 12 weeks, they, noticed my cervix was opening. So they did a procedure to close it up at 12 weeks. So that was successful. So at 27 weeks, they did another fetal echocardiogram. And then she called the doctor in, and they said, okay, well, we're going to have to called Children's Hospital in DC. They still weren't telling me anything. Got a pediatric cardiologist on the phone. He said, it looks like your daughter has some small tumors on her heart. And then he said, you need to come to Children's Hospital in DC right away for us to look at it. And the first thing I said, no, I have to go home and pray. I went in, I think it was a Tuesday the next week. They did the ultrasound at Children's Hospital in DC. Sonny and I were able to go together, thank God. And he came in the room and he sat down. He said, there's no tumor. Your daughter's heart is fine. They tried for hours to stop. The bleeding kept on getting worse.
I was very disappointed. I was very scared. Because we have gone through a lot. And then when I was scared, I was like, man, I hope my wife doesn't die. Hope we don't lose the baby.
So the doctors, unfortunately, were not able to stop the bleeding. And then I started actually having contractions. And then the final straw was when they didn't hear a heartbeat.
Yeah.
I had to go under anesthesia and I was rushed to the OR. I woke up the next morning. They told me the baby did survive. The doctor came into the room. He said your placenta completely ruptured. It's the worst thing that you can have happen because the placenta is the one that gives the oxygen to the baby and nutrients. So a lot of times when the placenta ruptures, the baby dies. He said, with this happening, there's a chance that she could have cerebral palsy. We were just terrified. I would just go to Abigail's incubator every day and just pray over her. But I always remember Isaiah 43:19 that says, God said, I'll make a river for you in the desert and a way for you in the wilderness. After 68 days, the same doctor came to me and said, Abigail's free to go. She's perfectly 100% healthy. There's nothing wrong with her. Nothing. And we were so happy. We're like, my goodness. This was a miracle. Abigail is my miracle child for so many reasons. After so many losses, after so many doctors telling me that it wasn't possible because of my age and my health history, after her time in the NICU, my pregnancy with her, everything, the whole story with her should never have happened. Even towards the end with the placenta rupturing.
The Bible saying all things give thanks. I think after this really gave us more confidence in God, gave us some kind of, I won't say boastful, but I could say that because I can say I boast in the Lord.
Yes.
The psalmist said he boasts in the Lord. So we are boastful in God.
Yes.
That we were able to come through not of our own strength. So thank God for that.
The prayer line was very integral for me, especially during the period after I lost the baby at 20 weeks. I would literally get on the prayer line almost every day. Those women on the prayer line are warriors, just very encouraging. That was a very dark period during that time. So it was very helpful just to have people pray for you. They gave me hope. They really gave me hope. With God, all things are possible, and that He will always make a river for you in the desert and a way in the wilderness for you. I thought I was too old getting married. I thought I was too old to have a child. I thought that was it. But God just laughed and said He knew what He would do for me. And He did it. And He really did it.